Hello, welcome to Notable Approvals Live. I am attorney Amanda Shaffer. Today we have another exciting case to talk about. In anticipation of our upcoming Q&A discussion live next week, Thursday, September 3rd at 9 p.m., we will be discussing I-751. So today's case is about an I-751. For those of you who don't know what that is a form number for the petition to remove conditions on your residency. If you're married, if you get married to a U.S. citizen and your marriage is less than 2 years old at the time of your adjustment of status interview, you only get a 2-year green card or a conditional green card. And then within the 90-day period before the 2-year anniversary of getting your green card, you have to file a form I-751 with your spouse in order to show immigration that you have a real marriage. You usually have another interview as well, but sometimes the marriage doesn't work out. So what do you do when the marriage doesn't work out? So our client in this case is a native and citizen of Togo. He married his U.S. citizen wife in 2011. She then petitioned for him and he got his conditional green card in 2012. In 2014, he and his wife jointly filed the I-751 together on time. While this application is pending, and anyone who's filed one of these applications knows, sometimes it takes a really long time, especially lately, and even more so now than it was then, to get your I-751 approved. So this thing was pending for 3 years. In 2016, they start to have some marital problems. Essentially, she was much younger than him. She was still in college, and she wasn't ready to have a family, and he was. She wanted to finish her education first, and they realized it just wasn't going to work out. So in January of 2016, he moves out of the marital residence, files a change of address with immigration. He's still waiting. He hears nothing. So in 2017, it was April 2017, he makes an appointment, an info pass appointment with USCIS and asks them what's going on with this case. He finds out that in January of 2017, they denied the I-751 and placed him into removal proceedings. He had never gotten the notice. He had no idea. So they say to him, well, if you're not with your wife anymore, why didn't you file for a divorce? And then you could have filed for a waiver of the joint filing requirement. He said, I thought I had to have a finalized divorce before I could do that. So he didn't have a lawyer at the time. He didn't know. So he left the info pass, files for divorce. Divorce is final October 2017. Then he comes to us to refile his I-751 based on a marriage that was entered into in good faith, but terminated through divorce. So we put together a nice application package of all their good faith marriage evidence, an explanation from him as to why we're filing late. We initially filed on time, now it's late. Now it's a self-petition, not a joint petition. And even though he was put in removal proceedings, the immigration judge did not have jurisdiction to decide the I-751. USCIS had to. So until that application is denied, if it is, the judge can't do anything. So in March 2018, we go to his master calendar hearing. I tell the judge that he had filed the I-751, it got denied. Now, because he didn't know about it, we refiled. Here's a copy of the filing. Here's a copy of all the good faith marriage evidence. And the judge puts him on the status docket. The status docket is almost like, if you've ever heard of an administrative closure back in the day in Obama times, it's similar in that in this situation with the status docket, the judge gives you a date in like 2 or 3 years and says, by this date, I either tell me that USCIS has approved the application, denied the application, or you need to show up in court. And they give a date far enough in the future with the hopes that it'll be decided by that point. So he goes on the status document and then docket. And then in September of 2019, we get a request for evidence or an RFE. If you've seen any other of my Notable approvals live. I have talked about RFEs before, and no, it did not surprise me that we got another RFE. Half the evidence they claim we didn't submit. They said we submitted A, B, and C, but we also submitted D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So we put together a nice little response to the request for evidence, put in some new evidence. We actually were able to get a letter from his ex-wife saying that, look, this was a real marriage. You know, I loved him. I wanted to be with him, but we were just two different parts of our life, and it didn't work out. It's rare to get a letter from the spouse like that, but it certainly helped. We've gotten them a few times. So we sent it all in, and then January 2020, we get the approval notice for the I-751, and my client got his 10-year green card. And of course, he was thrilled, but he was still in removal proceedings. So he could not travel abroad, and he still had those other restrictions, and he could, including not being able to file for naturalization despite being otherwise eligible. So we immediately filed a motion to terminate his removal proceedings. And then yesterday, I got this lovely judgment in the mail saying that DHS did not oppose it. Our motion is granted, and my client's removal proceedings are terminated. My client was very excited, and now he can apply for naturalization. And he hasn't been able to travel abroad since he was placed in removal proceedings. So he's excited to go see some family, take a nice vacation after COVID, of course. That is all for Notable Approvals Live. Again, like us, follow us on Facebook so you don't miss our live Q&A discussion next week on I-751s. We hope to see you there, and thank you for watching.